That's here tonight in the council chambers, as well as all of you that are viewing from home, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, but we appreciate you joining us. One of the things I wanted to point out, usually I say something at the beginning of them, I'll try to be brief, but last week we had a training seminar with City by App. The City by App, for many of you who may not know, the City of Lamar has a mobile app for your phone, for your tablets, where you can download it from the Google Play Store, the Apple Play Store, and it gives you alerts and information. It shows you maps of the City of Lamar, and it has links to our partners like Lamar Community College, Prowers Medical Center, Prowers Economic Prosperity, and many others. So if you haven't downloaded the app, please do so. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll appreciate having the alerts when there are water mains broke or different outages that may happen in the city. Additionally, if you're a city or a business owner within the city or in the area, you may want to also download it and register your business as well. We do have trainings like we had last week. We'll be having some more in the future, but it takes everybody's participation to keep this app progressive, new, and up to date. So I'd encourage you all to take a look at that if you haven't done so yet. With that said, we'll move on to the meeting. We have Jeff Alexander here tonight to give us our invocation. Jeff?
Our Heavenly Father, we're very grateful to have the opportunity to be here. Lord, I thank you for all the people that are represented here, for our city, for our community. Lord, for the friendship we enjoy. We ask your blessing upon this meeting tonight and ask for wisdom and direction upon all of the business that will be attended to tonight, Lord, and those who need to make the decisions, those who need to carry out those things, that they will all be done well and to the glory of God. And we thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Jerry, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:02 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Mike Bellamy.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins.
Here.
Kurt Crespin.
Here.
Mike Duffy.
Here.
Manuel Temez.
Here.
Anne Marie Crampton. Here. Rob Evans.
Here.
Kristen Swartz.
Here.
Lance Clark.
Here.
Okay, before we move on to the rest of the agenda, I did want to review the agenda. We have some guests here tonight on behalf of the Child Abuse Prevention Month. And we received this late last week, and it was placed in item number 15. I was going to suggest to the council that maybe we modify the agenda and move number 15 to number 1 of the new items, new business, so that way they can adjourn early. Is everybody good with that change on the agenda?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
No problem.
And that way they're not stuck here throughout the whole meeting.
It's fine.
Do you want to tell them they have to vote manually?
So you will vote just verbally, not on your device. So do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to amend number 15 to be number 1 of the new business. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. So with that said, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Most of you have had an opportunity to review the meeting minutes from the last meeting and the other boards and commissions. Are there any questions or concerns on those?
I don't have any.
We have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, the next item is public comment. This is the audience participation portion of the meeting. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is at the discretion of the council. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak to the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, we will move on, but as always, if you have questions or concerns, you can message them to Martha online through Facebook Messenger or on YouTube, and she'll ask those questions at the end of the meeting in our miscellaneous items, and we'll try to get those addressed for you. Next item is reports and correspondence. We'll start off with the city treasurer's report.
Thank you. I only had one thing to report. I just wanted to give everybody the update that we did get the TAP grant submitted and on time, and wanted to give a huge shout out to JVA for their assistance on that, and Pat and Rob and council for getting right on that too. So I think it's a good application, and I didn't get any feedback yet, but it did get submitted before the deadline. So thank you.
Great.
And I would take any questions. Anybody had any for me?
Anybody have any questions for the treasurer?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next item is the city clerk's report. Linda?
I do not have a report for this week, but at the next council meeting, I will have an election update.
Okay. Next item would be the city administrator's
All
report.
right. Coffee with Rob, Hickory House. That will be on Wednesday. I'm not gonna buy one of those giant cinnamon rolls, but I'll buy you coffee and maybe we'll get something to eat there too. Those things are huge. The City of Lamar Library Craft Fair and Farm Market will be April the 1st. Is Sue here? That sounds like a joke to me. I don't know. 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the Cultural Events Center. We'll have a farm market in the Cultural Events Center, I guess. The Common Grounds this month will be in the Cultural Events Center on April the 5th at 7 a.m. And I believe we're going to have the, did I say we did Public Works?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec is going to be this week. So come meet somebody from the Parks and Rec and ask them any questions that you might have, and I'll be there with them as well, so.
Just to clarify, this is open to the public.
That's right.
Everybody can attend. It's at the
Downstairs in
Cultural
the
Event
Cultural
Center
Events Center.
downstairs, breakfast on Wednesday the 5th
Talk-
at 7 a.m.
Talk to the council, sit down and bounce good ideas off of them and meet some of the city employees that work for you. And Easter happens on April the 9th, Sunday, 2023. So all looking forward to that one. Projects updates. I know I promised that I wouldn't tell you 2 more weeks for the self-service fuel. It's out there, but right now, in order for the money that gets charged there to get put to the right place, it may take just a little while longer to get the numbers sent that way. So it's out there, it's installed, everything is good except for me getting the money to them. So I'll tell you one more time, 2 more weeks, that we should get this back to us. It's all set, ready to go. And if you had any more questions?
Anything?
No?
No?
Progress on the speed coming into Lamar?
Oh, well, we did get another request in there, and they said that it would probably be addressed, but they did not give us an ETA on when they could actually do it.
And then the sign update, do we have any updates on, because we were working with CDOT
Mm-hmm.
on getting a sign underneath the industrial park sign for North Gateway.
I know we updated our request for that as well, but we didn't get anything back yet, did we, Pat? Nope.
Okay. And then the signs for Escondido Park and.
We're having to look for a new vendor.
Okay. All right.
I got one thing real quick for you, Rob. We've talked about it several times about the vacancy, building vacancies.
Oh, yeah.
Anything on that?
Last week, I do have that, and I'll get you that report of all of the ones that we had sent back. Most of the responses we're getting back are coming back hot, is it correct? People are a little upset because this is something new, and they all seem to think that we're picking on them. But we do have a log of them, and I did not bring those to you, so I do have that update. I'll send that to you tomorrow.
My biggest concern is the old Stagecoach
Oh, yeah.
motel and everything.
That's been an ongoing work that we've had discussions with and.
If we're talking about the Lamar Inn is what it's called, yeah.
It's not a good impression when people
No.
come through town and,
No, I totally agree, and they have been sent the letter, and I don't think they didn't pay the fine, but they did I guess they're protesting it, so they have a certain amount of time to protest it. And I do not know the status of what, that'll have to go to, court, I guess, if they've violated an ordinance, but.
Yeah. This isn't the vacancy ordinance was put in last year, for those who are watching. And the vacancy ordinance basically states on any commercial building in the city limits, if it has been vacant for so much time, they need to identify and let us know whether it's going to be remodeled, sold, rented, what their intentions are within a certain time period. They just need to notify the city what their intentions are, and if they don't, then they will get fines and fees
And we
assessed
will
to
work with them. We will work with them if they have a plan.
And our intention isn't to add new fees. Our intention is to get some of these property owners that have been sitting on these derelict properties for 15 years to make a decision. If you don't want to do anything with it, sell it. If you're going to remodel it, do it. We have programs to help. We have incentive packages that are there to assist. Just reach out to the city and we'll do everything we can to help you, as long as we know that you're moving forward and they're being utilized. Because we've had so many times when business people are coming to our community looking for a new location, and they'd love to move to Lamar, they'd love to open a shop in Lamar, but they can't find a location because the ones that are here are going to take $100,000 to remodel, or they're so derelict that they can't do anything with.
So the letters did start going out in January. We do have a log of them, and I can get you a rundown of that. I'll send it out to all.
So it's just a way to try to help our community, that's all.
What about the old Cray packing plant? Going on
Beat me to that.
14th or whatever?
13th Street.
13th?
Those are on our list.
That's on the list.
Okay.
For
The Brownsfield
The
list.
Brownfield.
The Brownfield list.
Yeah,
Okay.
some of those properties we were gonna have assessed, they're on the list through this Brownfields grant, and that's one of them that we have,
Okay.
Rob and I asked.
So they wouldn't be
them
able to
put
do
on the
anything
list.
with those until after the assessments are done.
Yeah, so that's gotta be the first step on.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect example of a property that cannot be demolished until there's an asbestos abatement and a test done, and the city's helping to do that, and that's what our
Now, on the
intent is.
Lamar, or that you were talking about, the assessments have been done
The assessment would be
already
done.
privately.
Right.
Yeah, those were done privately.
Oh,
So,
Okay,
I'd like to make a comment on the 13th Street property. As I was driving by one day, there was two young gentlemen going into this building, so I slowed down and didn't have to say anything or report anything to anybody because the mother went down the street and handled the situation. They were in the building and the mother went in and got them out. So we have trees that are in the curb and gutter, and we have open windows and doors. So,
Those may have been the two same boys I seen on the roof.
so something needs to be done. 'Cause
well, and I
now
would think with the trees, that should be a code enforcement cleanup thing.
we have some kind of ordinance about you can't have open windows and doors on a vacant building.
Yes. For a certain amount, it's a vacancy ordinance. You can't be vacant. Now, if it's a residential, if that's what you're talking about,
It's a commercial property, it's the
commercial.
same building.
the commercial is it can't be vacant for so long, and then they're in violation of the vacancy ordinance. But if it's also already identified as having asbestos in it, which I believe it did at one point, it's going to have a further assessment done.
I think he was asking if there was an ordinance in the city for a vacant building to have the windows closed and doors
Well,
closed.
they can't go in and do
or
anything
lockable
with it.
structure, right?
There's no way you could just board it up.
Plywood.
Like they did with Burger King when they
Charge them.
boarded it up.
Yes, I can I can either get the fire marshal or the building official to say this is condemned.
I was just asking.
Yeah.
That's what you were asking. Okay.
Do the inspection.
Yes, he's correct. We will have to inspect it first, verify that it doesn't meet the standards, and then we can get it condemned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions for the city administrator before we move forward? Seeing none, we'll move on to reports and correspondence from the council. Do we have anything from the council?
Planning and zoning met with one agenda under item, and it was something that city council had previously visited with back in January or February at some point. And that was in correlation to the cobblestone sewer, where we all agreed that it needed to be moved, and we passed it and approved it and moved. And Stephanie was just following up on that with the guys down there and getting that easement approved and
Properly.
properly done. She was, so my hat's off to Stephanie,
It's
thank
actually
you.
with the attorney. Right.
Okay, yes,
Pat will report, so as soon as he approves it, it will be on the agenda.
for next meeting, correct? Yes, and that's about what we had.
Okay. Mike, do you have anything?
Nothing.
Jerry?
No.
Mike?
I've got just basically real quick golf board. They had their annual meeting here a week or so ago, about 25 in attendance. They got a golf tournament coming up on the 8th of April called the Sodbuster Golf Tournament. If anybody's interested, 9 a.m., $50 entry fee. And then also, I read my notes there. Oh, they're in process of taking new memberships, so if there's anybody out there that's wants to
On the golf
get
board?
membership to the golf, to Spreading Antlers Golf Course, they are now accepting, and Bob's doing a good job, from what I could see so far out there as the pro. And that's all I have.
I don't have anything.
Pep, we had our annual meeting last week, and in addition to giving updates and having a really good speaker, we also gave 3 awards. The Business Longevity Award went to Stagner Inc. for being in business for 60 years. The Rising Star Award went to Stampede Services of Wiley, and Investing in Prowers County went to Don Compton.
Good. Congratulations to all of them.
Yes, congratulations.
Anything else happening with Pep that,
It's like a duck. You don't see a whole lot of motion above water, but there's a whole lot of paddling going on underneath. So
good,
things are moving.
great. Okay, and anything else that we needed to add?
No, doing good. Getting ready for springtime. I know that a lot of prep for watering and fertilizing and stuff like that as stuff starts growing.
And one thing I didn't hear on your, and maybe you said it, did you mention about the Easter egg hunt at the rec department?
No, I didn't have that on here. I just had Easter was on a certain day. I didn't have my Easter egg hunt.
Because they were supposed to be having the Easter egg hunt for the kids in
That's
the
correct.
community and,
I know that they were working on it, but I don't have what,
okay.
9 a.m. on the 8th.
9 a.m.?
9 a.m. on the 8th at Willow Creek Park, right? So for those who are watching, 9 a.m. on the 8th for the citywide Easter egg hunt.
I do have one question. Are we going to be doing the city, I shouldn't say we, is the city going to be doing the city cleanup?
Yes, every weekend in May is a free weekend.
Okay, but they won't let people put stuff out where they pick it up and stuff like that?
They used to do that, but we have not gone back to that yet.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, we'll move forward with our council meeting. We have new business, item number 1, which is the Sand and Sage Roundup Wild West Barbecue Committee request. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That'll be number 2. Number 1 would be your, the one that I changed. Proclamation, thank you. I was gonna throw you back on 15. All right, so we have the approved proclamation number 2302. It's a proclamation of the City of Lamar designating the month of April 23rd as the National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And it looks like we have a couple of visitors here tonight. Would you mind saying your name and letting us know what you're here for?
Sure, I'm Ryan Woolard, and I work for Prowers County Public Health. I'm a nurse and also the VIC supervisor with Rosie.
I'm Rosie Gomez, and I'm with High Plains Community Health Center with the Safe Care Colorado program.
Great.
So next Monday, we have planned an event along with the About Face program, the Cornerstone, the Lamar Public Library, the Youth Council, and Connect with Health Colorado. And we're going to do, it's called Plant the Pinwheel, and we're going to do it in the Pocket Park down here on Main Street at 5:30 next Monday night. It's the kickoff to Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we're calling it Plant a Pinwheel. We're going to have little pinwheels for the kids to plant in the Pocket Park. And we're going to have free hot dogs by Jerry's Doghouse, music, games. There'll be some resources in the Shore Center. And so we're here just to invite everybody to come out
Great.
and join us. Yeah.
And wear blue on Monday to kick off child abuse prevention.
Okay. All right, and it looks like we have a proclamation here for the Child Abuse Prevention Month as well. Would you like to read it, or do you want me to read it?
If you would go ahead, that'd be great.
Okay, Lamar City Council Proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas every one of more than 1.2 million children in Colorado today deserve to be valued, healthy, and thriving, and whereas children of our future employees, leaders, and neighbors, and will shape the future of Colorado, and whereas positive childhood experiences build healthy families and strong communities, and whereas childhood trauma, including abuse and neglect, is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and actions from everyone. And whereas childhood trauma can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have long-lasting consequences for victims of abuse, and whereas everyone benefits when we focus on addressing underlying causes that lead to health and social inequities, and whereas we have a role in ensuring that children have positive experiences and that families have the resources they need when they need them, and whereas when parents, caregivers, family, friends, neighbors, employers, and elected leaders work together to increase live critical protective factors in families' lives, that is when we can prevent child abuse, strengthen families, and build brighter childhoods. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community in partnership to build awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas strengthening families remains the best defense for our children and our families. Now, therefore, we, the Lamar City Council, do hereby proclaim, I guess I should have voted on this first, as National Child Abuse Prevention Month here in Lamar, Colorado, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families.
I move we approve.
A second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. All those in favor signify with an aye verbally.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Motion passes unanimously. So I will go up and sign. You can borrow your pen for a minute. Thank you very much for coming tonight. I was thinking I didn't want to write it wrong. Okay. And then do we need a signature from you, or do you need this one? They can have this one? And we'll get a certified copy.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I add one thing, Kirk?
Yes, please.
Are there more events besides the Monday event, Ryan? Are there more events besides the Monday event throughout
There'll be
April?
different things throughout the month with different agencies and resources. So I know the library has a couple of things going on, I think Cornerstone as well. So just watch for those. They're on the community calendar. so
Okay.
they'll be on there. Okay?
Okay,
All right, thank you very much. All right, now we can move on to the Sand and Sage Roundup Wild West Barbecue Committee request. Looks like we have two visitors here tonight for this.
Hello.
He's hiding.
Just let us know your name and
I'm Diane Poole, and this is Cindy Bendy. And we're the committee for the Wild West Barbecue Cook-Off. And what we are here tonight, we need to have approval for overnight camping on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which is May 10th, 11th, and 12th, I believe.
this is for the overnight before, the night before the barbecue contest, is that correct?
It starts on Friday,
Okay.
and then a lot of teams come in on Thursday night. I'd say maybe 10 or 11.
So 2 nights, Thursday and Friday night.
And some of them want to know if
There's
they
a
can
few
stay on
that stay
Saturday.
Saturday. There's not a lot. Just depends on what time they get done and clean up. They feel like driving back home. So there's
Okay. So have we had any problems in the parks as far as these events? Have we had any problems with the police department?
Never with this one, no.
Okay,
That's
so we're
good.
good with
We
both.
approve, or we recommend you guys approve it.
Okay.
We approve.
Do we have any questions from the council? Discussion?
How
This is
many
our
teams do you-
19th year,
How many teams do you girls have coming?
21 right now.
21.
and this will be, next year will be our 20th year, so.
We're shooting for 36.
Teams, not years.
Top of 36.
I don't think I'll be around.
I won't be on the board that long.
Me neither.
Bob, did you get to judge last year?
I asked them if they would let me, but they said they probably didn't have enough food for me to.
Okay.
I thought you were out of town.
No, I came back and I was out of town for
Yeah.
one of the days, but it's
Yeah.
okay. My wife says I don't get to do it.
Well, just come and see us at the back of the tent, and I'll throw you ribs out or something.
Okay, what is the council's pleasure?
I move to approve the Sand and Sage Fair to be at the park Thursday, May the 11th through Saturday, May the 13th.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
All right, next item is for consideration of the council is an agreement for law enforcement and security services for the Sand and Sage Fair Roundup, Fair Board, and the Wild West Cook-Off Contest.
And this is why we never have problems there.
Because we have that.
So this is they're required to have security for the barbecue cook-off. It'd be from May 12th at 11 PM until May 13th at 7 AM. The current rate, which has been approved by council, is $45 an hour, so the total is $360 for the night.
Okay. So there'll just be one off-duty officer, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Discussion?
No questions.
It's a standard agreement, just change the dates.
Yep. And the rate this year.
Yes, and I move, we approve.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 4 would be appointment to the Lamar Tree Board. It looks like we have a couple of appointments.
Sir.
So we can do them both together or discuss them both together in one item. So we have 2 appointments to the Lamar Tree Board. We had Mr. Jack Van Hook, who would be reappointed, and then we have Jane Felter, is that correct?
That's correct.
And both of them have been recommended by the Lamar Tree Board for reauthorization or to renew their term.
And they've agreed to serve.
And they've agreed to serve,
They
that's the
just
main
nominated,
thing.
yeah.
I enthusiastically recommend we approve their
Reappointment.
reappointment to the
For
board.
both of them.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to reappoint Mr. Jack Van Hook as well as Jane Felter onto the tree board. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
And we do thank them for their service in the community on the tree
Right.
board.
Does the tree board have any more vacancies?
Not at this time, but I will ask when the next one comes up, probably next year.
Okay. All right, item number 5. Transfer of airport entitlement funds to the City of Sterling Municipal Airport. This is initiated by Pat Mason. Pat, would you like to talk to us about this?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening.
So about every year we do this. We're part of a transfer group. I think we've talked to council about it before, where more or less what it affords us is that we share our entitlement funds one year with one airport, and then we get it back eventually, all at once, say in a 5 years worth, all in one, project. So we can do a little bigger project like next year. We're planning to do another section of the taxiway A project. So we would get everyone else's entitlement funds that year to be able to put together a little bigger project. So this year, the FAA is requesting that we transfer $150,000 of our entitlement funds to the City of Sterling Airport. So with that being said, staff would recommend that we transfer those funds and get it back next year.
So moved.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the transfer. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
That was quick and easy. Next item will be the request for extraterritorial water and sewer service. This was also initiated by Pat Mason. Pat, would you like to talk on this one?
Sure. So we've had a request from Licht Homes, Daniel Wolf, wanting to build a single-family residence at 6560 Rodeo Drive. And so basically, it's an extraterritorial water and sewer service agreement. We do currently have both water and sewer available out there and serve multiple other single-family houses, so the utilities are readily available. Just to clarify, our mains are in place and have been in place for years out there, but, so what it amounts to is we make the taps, but the homeowner has to come to our line. So we don't install any new line, and then they're responsible for that line from the point of our main to the house, more or less, so.
Okay. So this just authorizes them to use the city of Lamar's water and sewer service and sets their rates, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
About how many more lots is there out there for development?
It'd be a wild guess on my part. I haven't been out there for a little bit, but I'd say probably maybe 10 more lots available, approximately.
Roughly.
Is it close enough to the city of Lamar, the limits for annexation?
Oh, yeah. it's
Yep.
real close.
I just
They
didn't
got
know
some
if that
nice
was
homes they're putting in out there too. I seen a couple of them going down the road.
I just didn't know if that was something that they had considered or not.
Well, when they sign one of these agreements, that's a stipulation in it that when the time comes, they would have to annex in once
Right.
we border them, so.
Capacity. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I don't have any.
Seeing,
I have
go ahead.
more. So this person that's developing this, I take it he's a developer more than anything. Do the prospective owners, before they come to closing, are they reading this contract? Are they signing the contract also? Because if we just have the agreement with them and he sells the property to the new owners, do we get an updated contract with the new owner?
We haven't in the past, but it still stands that the original property owner signed that agreement. So,
And it binds any future interest owners of the property. However, I was talking with Pat about this a little bit, and I'm wondering if maybe one of the best routes to go would be to record a memorandum of the agreement itself and putting in place just a short version of the terms of what's already been executed, and then recording that so that it shows up in title searches.
I just don't want somebody to buy a home and then they get their utility bills and their,
Yeah.
is that something that you can prepare so that
Yes.
they can start doing that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And you'll just add it to the deed?
Well, it doesn't really, I mean, it doesn't add to the deed, but it puts future owners, by recording it, you're putting future owners with that legal description on notice of what agreement's in place.
Okay. All right.
perfect, thank you, Lance.
Okay, were there any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 7, we have an appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission. This is initiated by Stephanie Stroop as well. Stephanie?
Good evening. The first one I want to talk to you guys about is the appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission that expired February 1st. That was advertised in local media as required, and we did receive one applicant, Wayne Reiner, who had expired, put in his application to go back on the board. The board has discussed it, and we would like to recommend that Wayne Reiner be reappointed to the commission.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you very much. You're also up here for the next one, number 8. This is to award the bid for the Escondido scoreboards to Electromech This is initiated by Kristen Schwartz, our treasurer, as well as Stephanie Strub, our building official. I'd like to speak on that.
Yes, the original bid for the construction of Escondido Score Booth did not include the scoreboards. So I did reach out to multiple places and did receive 3 bids back. The one that the building department would like to recommend is a scoreboard that is aluminum versus the galvanized steel, making a total weight of 265 pounds. They will be mounted to the front of those buildings, not on poles, so I highly recommend Electromech for this position.
I got one question.
Uh-huh.
And going through all these lengthy recommendations and how they recommend, all of it in there is recommendations. None of it's like you will do this or to avoid the warranty. I noticed one thing that was particularly sparked my interest is it says there should be, they recommend putting a shut-off switch so that inclement weather and when it's not in use, it can be shut off to increase the longevity of it. Is there something in the plans to have shut-offs to those?
Yes, I spoke with Keith Knighty this morning about it, not yesterday. We were talking this morning, and when we pick one of the ones who we want to go with, then I'm going to take those specs to him, and we're going to get it set up at that point. Okay. So we did kind of review some of it just to show what is going to be needed to be done.
And there'll be a breaker switch for each one in the panel,
Yeah.
service panel, is my understanding.
Absolutely.
So they could actually just flick the breaker and shut it off for the season.
Now, is that part of the bid that he proposed that we awarded?
Correct.
Last council meeting?
That is correct. It did include the electrical on the scoreboards as well.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
And it's on its separate service?
The
It has its a separate service?
The booth does,
for the building?
correct.
No, for the scoreboard?
Oh, yes, but the building is separate too from everything else in the park, so.
Okay, perfect.
All right, any other discussion?
Funding's all good? Thank you.
Okay. Well, with no other questions, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 9 is the Colorado Pet Overpopulation Fund Grant. This is initiated by Chief Miller and Bob Crum. Chief?
We received permission to apply for the Colorado Pet Overpopulation Fund grant. This is for us to spay and neuter any animal before it leaves our facility, and it also has some funds built in there for emergency care of animals. We requested $12,500, and we were given or awarded the $12,500.
Great. No matching?
No match.
Move we accept.
Second.
Of course, I have a question. I notice we do this on a regular basis. The next time could we look at possibly the dogs that we adopt out, or when we get them spayed and neutered, can we look at possibly working into this grant to chip them?
We could do that next year, yes.
I think that'd be great, very advantageous for the people that work with those animals, you know, get the same dog back and trying to figure out whose it is.
We can request it next year. The worst they're going to do is say no.
Or chip reader, and then when we register their dogs, we could add in the cost of a chip.
So I don't know what I don't think that our animal shelter manager can chip them. We'll have to take them to a vet to have them chipped. We have a couple chip readers already.
Okay.
So I think that that's absolutely something we could write into the grant next year.
Okay.
I think maybe that's something we could advertise, hey, if you adopt a dog, you get a free chip in your dog too. I mean,
Well, it's a voucher or some way to send them to the vet to get it
Right.
done, and they'll take care of
I'll
it
pay
that
for
way.
that. Yeah, it's a great idea.
You have kids?
Thank you, Kyle.
idea.
You can ship your own.
All right, any other questions for Chief Miller? Seeing none, do we have a motion for the?
So moved.
Second.
We did. Who was that?
Me. Sorry.
Anne Marie.
Yeah, there you go.
and then- Okay, Emmanuel Temez. So we do have a motion and a second already on the table. So all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed unanimously. Next item is agenda item number 10. This is for the post grant, and it was also initiated by Chief Miller
Every year, the police department's required to meet the state mandated training requirements. These funds that we're requesting allow us to meet those. This year, we're requesting $5,719.83 for the grant, and there is no match to this grant either.
Okay.
This is a one-year grant
Correct.
every year?
Yep.
Doesn't seem like a lot of money.
So we only get so much. It's allocated by department size.
Okay,
There's a regional grant that is in the neighborhood of $160,000
Okay.
that we also get money from too.
all right. Thank you very much.
I move we allow the police department to apply for the grant.
Second.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to allow the police department to apply for the grants. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Agenda item number 11 is vehicle tow rotation bids. This is an annual bid process brought in by Chief Miller. Would you like to speak on it?
Sure, this is just kind of a housekeeping item. These are the tow companies that tow the vehicles at our request. If we have to seize the vehicle as evidence, or we don't know who the owner is, or it's an abandoned vehicle on the side of the road, these are the tow companies that we call. If people are involved in accidents, we can ask them if they have their own tow that they want, or they can call the next tow on rotation. We received 3 bids, one from A1, one from Superior, and one from Waller this year. We're just asking to place those 3 tow companies on the tow rotation.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item number 12, motion to ratify the approval of Resolution 23-03-01, approving city staff to apply for the CDOT TAP grant and submission of draft application. This was one item that we did need to do a poll on, and because there was a deadline that we had to meet. Kristen, I'll let you speak on that.
Yes, this was brought to my attention as an opportunity to apply for this grant. We've received one of these, maybe 2 of them in the past. The last one that we had, we applied for in 2016, were awarded. We completed that TAP grant in 2020. It was for the pots and benches. They've changed a little bit the focus of this grant. It's very much geared to transportation alternatives, non-motorized transportation. We were able to put together a grant application with JVA's help for a curb and gutter and sidewalk project that we've identified on Savage Avenue. It connects some of the trails, which is very important in this TAP grant, and then we also included as alternatives some of the side streets, 8th Street, 9th Street. And then we did also throw in there Main Street from Savage to Park. We have applied for a grant through CDOT for that. They rejected the first go-around. They've allowed us to make some updates to that application, so I wasn't sure if we were going to be awarded it or not, so we put it in this grant as an alternative. The way this grant works now is that we had a draft application deadline of March 24th. It then goes through the committee. They look at the project to see if it fits the criteria, number 1. They look at the overall project and the cost. This grant is a 3-year grant. It's 24, 25, and 26. The maximum for our region, which is also a little bit different than the way they've awarded in the past, the maximum for our entire region is like 2.7 million per round. So we went ahead and applied with alternatives, so when they're looking at it, they'll give us suggestions back and recommendations, things that they want to see, changes. They'll go through some environmental studying on the grant application in the area. And then they'll give us back their feedback, let us know if they think that we should move it forward. And then the final application is due April 21st. So that's the way that cycle works. And so we got the application put together and got it submitted, the draft, by the 24th.
Okay. Any questions for the treasurer or the clerk?
You said the final application is the 21st or?
April 21st?
21st, okay, you
Yes,
had
sir.
it listed here, final application due April 1st.
That'd be my fault.
Okay.
It was a typo.
Just clarifying that, so.
It's okay. It's April 21st.
April 21st, okay.
Any idea what kind of time frame they give us from the time they say, okay, this is what we want you to do, or this is what we think you should do, until we have to file that? Is it like 3 days, or?
She promised it would be within a week or two, so we're not gonna have a lot of time to make corrections, but they would be getting back with us, she said, within 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I move we ratify this poll.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to ratify the phone poll. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is agenda item number 13, appointment to the Lamar Advisory Board. This is initiated by Sue Lathrop, but looks like we have a visitor here tonight.
Library Advisory Board, right?
Library Advisory Board.
Good evening. I'm Gary Oxley. I'm Chair of the Library Advisory Board. Sue asked me to stand in tonight so she could attend play practice for her next big community event. So we're going to recommend Connie Jacobs to join our board. She is a long-term member of our Friends of the Library. She's a member of many book clubs. She's a member of the Lamar School Board. We think she'd be a perfect fit for our library board.
I would agree.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. So the next item, I think I will turn over to Anne Marie to do the next item, as I will abstain. And do I need to step out or just let
No.
her run it? So if you'd like to proceed.
Okay, we were contacted by Vertical Bridge with a request for a sublease on a communications tower on city property. And their current lease agreement allows them to request this action, and if approved, can sublease to another party. In your packet, you'll see a letter, and it's regarding the FM tower for KLMR. Do you have any questions? Lance, have you looked at this agreement?
I haven't had a chance to look it over yet, so if we can, if it's approved pending my review.
Basically, Vertical Bridge has a valid lease, and it says if they, fulfill certain requirements, and they are allowed to sublease, and you guys are just verifying that they've, conducted and did according to the lease. It should be something that's easily done.
And it was previously leased before by 25/7 Media. We're just taking over the lease with the new KLMR.
Yep.
So.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any questions? And all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Okay.
Did you abstain?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the reason why?
I'm trying to work with Kirk.
So we have all council members voting yes, with council member Duffy and Mayor Crespin abstaining.
Motion passes.
Okay, and just for those who are listening, I, of course, am part of Riverside Communications, who is trying to reboot KLMR AM and FM, so that's why I abstained, for those of you who may be watching. So the next item on the agenda, we'll move back into number 15, which is the Allen Aviation Commercial Lease Agreement. This is initiated by Pat Mason. It looks like he's here to tell us all about it.
Good evening again. So approximately a year ago, we had entered into an initial kind of a temporary agreement with Allen Aviation to perform what I call avionics repair or radio work at our airport. And so after that initial 6-month period, they came and requested another 6-month addition to that to kind of help grow their customer base, and council did approve that. But we've reached the end of that 6-month period, so staff would recommend that we enter into a year-long commercial lease agreement. Lance actually took the agreement and kind of rewrote it more along the guidelines of what we currently use for commercial hangar, or not commercial, but hangar space out there now, what people actually sign as far as the lease agreements. And I thought he did a great job. There's a few things that are kind of specific to this instance of what's actually going on, but I think we got everything covered. So it would include a $500 monthly rental payment. It's due, I believe, at the first of each month. That this agreement more or less would take effect April 1st, and it'd be good for 1 year until March 31st of next year, so.
What was the previous rental amount?
It was $5 a month.
$5 a month. My understanding is when we first signed it, we were trying to encourage them to grow their business, so we give them a discounted rate, knowing that at the end of the year, we would increase it. So
Right.
I just wanted to point that out for the council. Any questions for Pat?
Do they have intentions of putting up walls and segregating their 1,600 square foot?
We actually, initially, I think in the initial temporary agreement, we would allow them a space in the corner to, if they wanted to secure their tools, but we're not going to allow any walls out into the floor space area or.
They can have
anything
wall
like that, so.
lockers and put things up to store their stuff that they don't want anybody access to, but not any walls that we can't get to.
And they're comfortable with that?
Yes.
Thank you.
I actually did have an opportunity to share the agreement with them last Thursday, and they read it, called me with a few questions, but otherwise they were agreeable to it, so.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any final questions?
One, please. Is there insurance policy? I take that's on file with Linda then?
They turn a new one in every year.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
So the next item on the agenda would be our miscellaneous items. Did we have any questions or any items for miscellaneous?
Martha?
Martha? No questions? Okay.
I have a quick one. So you had said that we're not gonna do spring cleanup?
Not a dedicated day where everybody brings it to the side of the sidewalk, but we'll have, in May, everybody can take a free dump weekend. Oh, in April, I'm
In
sorry.
April. So month of April.
Yes.
Because usually we have a lot of citizens that have no way to haul all this trash to the dump. And it seems that it did a great job in cleaning up some of the neighborhoods or some kind of a job.
The challenge we ran into was back when we did it before, where they would go through and pick it up in the neighborhoods, people would push it out to their curbs. We had the softball team at the Lamar Community College that would come out and help the city staff, and there would be also other volunteers, and we'd all get together and they'd try to get it picked up. So that's kind of dwindled off as far as that participation, and it was harder and harder to get people to participate and volunteer their time. Is that kind of what you got out of that, Anne Marie? So when COVID hit, there was a discussion with Steve and with the council. What do we do from here? Do we just drop it completely, or what do we do? And the suggestion was made to just offer it for the whole month, every weekend for a month, as the spring cleanup. And then we were encouraging any of the local community organizations, whether it be a church organization or Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, whoever would need any of that community service time, we would get that information out and we would share it with the public. So if you do have an elderly couple or a person that needs assistance, they could call and get those resources and they can assist them with that. So I don't know if we can work with Martha and try to obtain a list like that to put out there on the web if you want assistance with the spring cleanup.
Yeah,
guys approved, before we sent out, what dates we were done looking up. But yeah, that information is included.
Okay. Does that help?
Tremendously.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. We do have 2 executive sessions. One for a discussion of personnel matters with the city administrator under Colorado Revised Statutes, Section 24-6402, subsection 4, subsection F. And the second one for matters subject to negotiations under Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6-402, subsection 4, subsection E, regarding economic negotiations. On both of these items, there will not be a decision made out of the executive session. So immediately after the executive session, we will adjourn the meeting. We're letting you know that because we will go ahead and move into the executive session and close out the video feed. And we will see you on the next meeting. So what is the council's pleasure?
I make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move into executive session. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Go.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, so we will now move into our executive session. We appreciate you for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you at the next meeting.